This is Who's Winning 2024, powered by Statistically Speaking, a special telecast where we bring to you the Janta's pulse from across the nation. India, the biggest democracy in the world, is gearing up for the Lok Sabha elections 2024, and there are rapid developments taking place in the run-up. In a turn of events, BJP leader Nayab Singh Saini has been sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Haryana, succeeding Manohar Lal Khattar, whose second term as Chief Minister was bound to end in October this year. Well, while this is the result of cracks between the BJP and the JJP over the lack of consensus on the seat-sharing formula, the battle to bag 10 Lok Sabha seats has now intensified in Haryana. With that in mind, NewsX presents Chapter 2 of our special Lok Sabha election series with the primary focus on Haryana. What are the choices and expectations of the people? Who really is their pick for 2024 and why? I'm going to go right across to those numbers because ultimately, viewers, the elections all boil down to what the numbers are all about at the end of the day. So we have a very special set of numbers. First question that we asked was, what is your biggest issue in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024? Here are the results. 19% people say development, 12% say inflation, 12% also say campaign against corruption, 45% people say unemployment, and 10% say none of the above. So an overwhelming majority of our responders said that unemployment was their key issue, their biggest issue in this Lok Sabha elections, followed by development. Let's go across to the second question that we asked. On what basis will you be casting your vote in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections? 21% people say the party, 15% people say the candidate, 1% say religion, 58%, once again the overwhelming majority, says on the work that has been done, and 2% say none of the above. So 58% of the people who have responded to us have said that they will be casting their vote on the basis of work done by the government. Question number 3 that we asked, how has Narendra Modi performed as Prime Minister? 14% people feel that his performance has been bad, 36% people say that his performance has been good, 46% say very good, and 2% people cannot make up their mind about the performance of the Prime Minister. Fourth question that we asked, how will the Modi factor work in the Lok Sabha elections? 10% people say that it will have an average impact, 32% people say good, 36% people, majority says very good, 14% says not at all, there will be no Modi magic as per 14% people, and 5% people can't say. So overwhelming majority, once again, nearly 70% of the people who responded said that Modi factor will work in the Lok Sabha elections this time around as well, for a third time around. Last but not the least, the fifth and final question that we asked, who do you think will be forming the government in 2024? To the people of Haryana, 68% people say the NDA, 11% people say the INDIA alliance, which is of the opposition, 5% people say it will be the government with certain regional alliances, and 14% people are yet to figure out and make up their minds. But once again, 68% people in Haryana who responded to our polls have said that it will be the NDA that will be forming the government in 2024. Very interesting results there of this poll that we've had. I will now quickly go across to our political analysts who are joining us on the broadcast. I have with me Raman Malik of the BJP, Pankhadi Pathak of the Congress, Rajat Paneta of the INLD also with us, and Sumit Peer, Himanshu Bhatt also with us on the broadcast. I'm going to quickly first go across to Himanshu Bhatt if I can. Himanshu Bhatt, what do you make of the results that you've just heard? People continue to place their faith in the NDA, in the BJP as far as Haryana is concerned.
Clear and no-brainer actually. You know, the last 3 questions, overwhelmingly, you are watching it. The people prefer Narendra Modi to anyone else who is at present in the Indian politics. You need to understand that unemployment is always going to be an issue in a country like Bharat. With 140 crore people I will not be surprised that even after 10 years, unemployment is going to be an issue. I'm telling this very responsibly. The reason for that is our definition of unemployment at times is not correct. We always talk of government jobs and, bank jobs and this jobs and that job as employed people. Other people are unemployed. But the way Bharat is progressing today, what I could foresee is in another 10 years, you will have more people running their own businesses and own enterprises than the people who are employed in the government sector.
Right.
See, it's only not only the government sector that is a job, because that's generally the definition which general people, a mass as such, takes. Whether you have your son in a railway, whether you have your son in a bank, then it's a good job. Then he's employed. But if your son is excelling in something by doing something on his own, running a small enterprise, that is not considered. And you must remember that today, after 75 years, we have come down to a stage where only agriculture doesn't work. Haryana has a very big base of agriculture. And we need to remember that when you ask these questions on a specific region, I always look at that, how people look at the whole scenario in an agro-based society, where unemployment will be a problem forever. It's been there for 75 years. It will stay for another 15, 20 years. And that's why when you see the other questions, what Modi government has done, whether Modi is good, who will come back to power, and people are very clear. When you have an overwhelming majority of 68% telling you that it's going to be no contest at all, despite being 11% people undecided. If that is also going to be a factor, then what is going to happen is there seems a very clear indication that people do not consider opposition worthy of a leader that can compete with Narendra Bhai Modi. That is what the survey says. And that's the way I look at it, Devika.
Okay. Sumit Peer, if you're with us, Sumit, your first reaction on our polling numbers, the fact that people, of course, once again, like I said, placing their faith in the NDA, placing their faith in Narendra Modi. But Sumit, quite interestingly, a lot of people, for them in Haryana, the biggest issue is in fact employment.
Devika ji, thank you very much for having me on your show. I think Himanshu ji said it beautifully. You see, in economics, the definition of employment is opportunity to earn, rozgar ke avsar. But the connotation which flows in the society is a sarkari nokri with a PF and a ESI number and a gratuity number. So if I don't have that, I'm considered to be unemployed. Like Himanshu ji and me, we are perpetually unemployed. I mean, though we pay taxes, but still we are unemployed. हमारे पास कोई नौकरी नहीं है, as per the that terminology. But aren't we contributors? Aren't we paying tax? If I don't have income, where I'm going to pay the tax from? So the problem is that if you go and drill this into the head of people, what the opposition has been drilling, sarkari nokri, sarkari nokri, sarkari nokri. Look at in India, the total number of people employed by any kind and type of government, state, center, directly, indirectly, is 3.54%. That means government is already not employing 96.5% of the people. So how can you have a government job for everybody? So if you set the expectations wrong, that is how people say, bhai, ye chahiye, naukri chahiye. But are you telling them, bhai, aapke paas rozgar nahi hai? Are you earning anything? Are you earning something or you are earning nothing? Then they say, no, I'm earning. But I want a government job. I want a bank mein naukri. I want a this mein naukri. So these are the political manipulations which has been done. For example, look at US. 60% of the GDP, that is around $18 trillion of the GDP, is controlled by MSMEs. Right, with a small shop, pub, owner, what we call a flower vendor, things like that. In our country, around 35-4% of GDP is drawn again by MSMEs. What some people say, pakodanomics or whatever. But again, if you go into economics, there's an opportunity to earn. There is no country on planet Earth, there is no economy on planet Earth where government can employ 100% of the people. It won't work. It will become a Venezuela. So these things are what needs to be communicated. When in Mudra Yojana, you're given 25 crore loans to the people, and 98% of them have returned the money. So you're creating the opportunities to earn. In various schemes, in Mandrega, in Narega, and all, you are giving some kind of employment or some kind of a loans to the people where they are contributing to the economy. If you look at our ecosystem, third biggest in the world, $380 billion worth of ecosystem, and we are employing around a million people. If you look at, for example, Jewar Airport alone, directly, indirectly, will create 1 million jobs. Directly around 2 lakhs jobs, and directly around a million jobs. So, for the sake of God, if I'm driving a taxi, I will have no employment letter, I will have no PF letter. If I'm a fruit vendor, I'll have no letter of this. If I am running a perchun ki dukan, I'll have no letter of this. If I'm a cement contractor, I'll have no letter of this. I am a bricks contractor, I'll have no letter. I'm electrical, I'm a plumber, I'm a mason, I'm a mistri, I'm a labor. I will have no employment letter, I will have no PF and ESI number. But if rather than telling the people, the opposition is trying to create a fiasco, नौकरी नहीं है, सरकारी नौकरी नहीं है, हम ये नौकरी देंगे या वो नौकरी देंगे. I'm telling you the number is 3.54%. So where are you going to employ 96.5%?
Okay, but Sumit, if the people are saying that unemployment is an issue, then how can we say that this is a opposition narrative? How is that fair?
No, Devika ji, the question is what is being drilled into the people's mind? हम आपको सरकारी नौकरी देंगे. Then they will say unemployment is the issue. If we are able to communicate to them, employment is an opportunity to earn. Like, I am not employed anywhere. I don't think Hemant ji is again, and Himanshu bhai is employed anywhere. So, but, does that mean we are not getting anything? How are we living? We are living somehow, na? So we are paying taxes. Where are we paying taxes? So this notion within the country has to go. And when this notion is being written as, when you set the expectations wrong, हम आएंगे हर एक को एक सरकारी नौकरी देंगे, then they will look for that कि भाई फिर unemployment problem है, साहब सरकारी नौकरी नहीं मिली. But the problem is Haryana has more GDP. Haryana GDP is double than Punjab. Haryana is smaller than Punjab. How does Haryana GDP is double than Punjab if everybody is perpetually unemployed there? How are they able to do a double GDP than Punjab? This is not practically possible. The problem is, what do you set the expectations, Devgaji? If you are setting the expectations fundamentally wrong, people are aspire for fundamentally wrong things. And these become doubts become issues, and issues become objections. And that is what the opposition is smartly trying to do when they don't have an answer. Create a fiasco where none exists. Create a mole out of a mountain where none exists. Now, what about 25 crore mudra loans? I mean, imagine one person is employing only one person. Well, how many employments have you created? When you are doing $330 billion in the infrastructure, how many employments are you creating? I just talked about one Xavier airport, 1 million jobs. How many employments have been created? If you are driving a taxi for Uber and Ola and all, so aren't you employed? Yes, you are employed, but you don't have an appointment letter. So, these notions have to go. The job of the government is to create opportunities to earn, not to distribute appointment letters of sarkari nokri. ये थोड़ा चीज समझानी पड़ेगी. And that's where the disconnect is.
Okay, Himanshu, but bringing you back into the conversation, majority of the people say that they want to vote on the basis of the work done, that very few will be voting on the basis of the party, the overall party name, which is something that we've perhaps seen in the past few elections, where a lot of people said that a lot of candidates, they just rode on the party wave because Narendra Modi had to come to power, so a lot of people got the post because it was basis on the party. 15% people saying that they will be voting keeping the candidate in mind, but an overwhelming majority, 60% almost, people say that they're going to be voting on the basis of the work that is done. What do you feel about this? Do you feel that there is then now a mindset change that has taken place in India's voter as well, where it truly doesn't matter whether what party or what what caste you belong to, what party you belong to, but people really want to make a note of who's actually working in their constituency?
Yes, you yourself have answered the question, Indian politics is shifting away. In last 10, 15 years, the politics of India and the smart voter of India has exactly learned whom to reward and whom not to. And that's what we are seeing from the last 3 elections. We have seen this happening. You yourself say caste people do not matter. Now the caste doesn't matter. If the person has not done the work, whichever party he belongs to is thrown out. And that is the way it should be. We say that our Indians do not understand. That's what people allege us. That's what people keep on saying us. Okay, you guys are fools. You are running a democracy which you don't know how to vote. People go and vote like, herd of sheep. No, it's not happening. If that was happening across the country in 28 states, how is it that a particular party wins all around, barring a few exceptions? You see, a farmer working in a small town village or small village in Haryana and an aristocrat living in Delhi, both of them will vote simultaneously and simultaneously vote for the same party. Why? See, that's what answers your question. The politics and the voter of Bharat is getting smart because he wants to move away from this casteist and slurrist politics and move towards development. He wants to see himself and his society and his country being developed. And that's the gut feeling among everyone, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, irrespective of financial status. And that is what has shifted. And that is what we call maturing out of democracy. After Amrit Kal, we enter in Amrit Kal, Bharat has started maturing out as a democracy. And that's why there were some questions, there were some issues which were very relevant, are not relevant today. In Haryana, you had Jats and non-Jats. Still, so many people talk about that. But is it really relevant today? In today's polity? One has to understand. The sooner you understand, earlier you will succeed. If you don't understand, you will perish. That is the situation now, and I'm putting it very, very flatly.
Okay, all
Yes.
right. Okay, I will come back to our analysts, and we also have political voices with us. But before we go across, my colleague Akshat Gupta has in fact spoken to people in Haryana's Gurugram to understand their choice for 2024. Let's quickly listen in to what is it that people on the ground had to say.
ओबियसली मोदी जी को।
क्या कारण है उसके?
कारण ये है, आप देख रहे हो देश में क्या चल रहा है। लाइट की बात करें, पानी की बात करें, बिजली की बात करें, रोड की बात करें, आप एक एक्सीलेटर पे पैर रखने के बाद में 500 किलोमीटर का सफ़र 4 घंटे में तय कर लेते हैं। यहाँ से आप लखनऊ चले जाओ, योगी जी आदित्यनाथ जी को देख लो, क्या विकास करा है क्या नहीं करा है ये दुनिया जानती है। तो इसलिए मैं मोदी के साथ हूँ।
बीजेपी ने जो प्रोपेगेंडा फैला रखा है वो सबसे अलग है। आज तक कांग्रेस ने भी इतना राज किया किंतु उसने बीजेपी की तरह निर्दयता नहीं की। काम धंधे ठप हैं, पहले काम धंधे हुआ करते थे, सबके काम धंधे चलते थे और समस्याएं नहीं थी इतनी, किंतु बीजेपी है खाली वो धर्म पे फोकस करती है और वो लोगों की आय जो धन हो उनके पास व्यय के साधन नहीं छोड़ती है। बाकी मैं बीजेपी को से सहमत नहीं हूँ विचारधारा से, इसलिए मैं वोट नोटा पे दबाऊंगा किंतु बीजेपी को नहीं दूंगा।
राम मंदिर बनवाया उन्होंने, इसमें ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो मोदी कर रहे हैं। आज तक ये चीज़ कांग्रेस में नहीं हुई है। अभी तक जो मोदी ने किया है वो कांग्रेस में नहीं हुआ है अभी तक। आप इस चीज़ से भली भांति सहमत हो, आप समझते हो इस बात को कि जो मोदी कार्य कर रहा है A1 कार्य है, विश्व में आज नंबर 1 पे है। ठीक है, इसलिए हम मोदी को ही वोट देंगे, अदरवाइज हम किसी को वोट नहीं देंगे।
मोदी को। क्या कारण है उसके?
मोदी ने एक तो अपने जो राम मंदिर का और हिंदू के लिए अच्छा काम किया है, इसलिए हम मोदी को वोट देंगे।
मैं केजरीवाल को वोट दूंगा।
क्यों देंगे केजरीवाल को?
क्योंकि मुझे अच्छा लगता है, वो सारे काम जितने भी उसने वादे करे वो सारे पूरे हो रहे हैं। क्योंकि जितने भी वादे हुए हैं अब तक, सर कोई भी वादा मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता जो पूरा हुआ हो, चाहे वो महंगाई हो, मतलब एज वाइज दैट कुछ भी हो, वो पूरा हुआ नहीं है।
मोदी जी को।
क्या कारण है उसके?
कारण है सब गरीबों को भला कर रहे हैं और क्या,
और कोई कारण नहीं?
सब कारण है ये देश का अच्छा विकास कर रहे हैं और क्या।
जब देश को विकास की प्रगति देखते हैं तो क्या?
हाँ, बाहर की तरफ बढ़िया है, पहले से कई गुना अच्छा है।
हम तो कांग्रेस को देंगे।
सर क्या कारण है उसके?
कारण ये किसान बैठे और रोने लग रहे हैं, वहाँ पे जान से मार दिया मोदी ने। तो 300 रुपये टमाटर खिला दिए, और क्या करोगे आप बताओ, कहाँ जाएगा? टैक्स इतने ज़्यादा भारी पड़ रहे हैं, सारे टैक्स दे रहे हैं, क्या रिलीफ दे रहे हैं हमें?
Okay, very interesting. So a couple of votes there going to the Congress party. Interestingly, a voice for Kejriwal as well in Haryana. And we've heard the majority of the people there supporting Narendra Modi. Raman Malik, let me bring you into the conversation. You've heard what some of the people on the ground have had to say. How does the BJP then explain just the matters that have been raised in what you've heard right now, the people talking about inflation, talking about lack of employment opportunity under the BJP in Haryana?
See, if you talk about inflation, if the MSP is going to increase, the prices of commodity is going to increase. Nobody can stop it. If the average income of a person increases, inflation would obviously get affected. That is the basic principle of economics. When you're talking about major, as Mr. Sumit Peer was reiterating, the economy, the way it is growing, and the way the quantum of economy has grown, it is not that those quantums would not bring in ripple effect of job creations and job opportunities and business opportunities. Now, apparently, there's a notion being professed and being played around by incompetent opposition, which says that only government jobs are jobs. If that is the case, sir, then probably across the history of India, probably everybody else from the time we got independent has been jobless. Because there was only one family which used to rule, and there was one ideology of family governed politics and family owned political enterprises that used to be there. Apparently, that has all failed. The most important question is that if the farmers are today getting, there was somebody talking about 300 rupees for the tomatoes. Well, let's leave aside that Mr. Ticket professes that wheat should be given at about 250 to 300 rupees a kg. I would ask that where does this 300 rupees go? It goes down the retail chain to the wholesaler and from the wholesaler towards the farm. If it is not reaching to the farm or the farmer, then the problem is in the distribution channel. And if the problem is in the distribution channel, why was this Progressive Farmers Union protecting that channel? Why were these political parties protecting that channel? That question is the paramount question, and that is why in the Farmer Agitation 2.0, the people from Haryana did not participate because they understood that these progressive, so-called progressive farmers from Punjab have no intention of giving the water of Haryana, have no intention to give anything to Haryana. And it is mere petty politics.
Okay. Rahul Malik, at the same time, in one of our survey results, a lot of people in Haryana have raised development and unemployment. You've addressed unemployment, but what about development? Why do you think that despite all the announcements that are being made, a lot of people still say that development continues to be a key issue for them?
I do not support that mindset and idea because of the simple fact when I travel from, let's say, if I'm sitting in Gurugram and I want to travel to any place, the road infrastructure is excellent. I can vouch for this that I can go with you on various state highways. Forget the national highways. I can go on to various state highways. And the condition which was there in 2010 to 14, compared it to now, the situation is extremely improved. I do not say that there cannot be any further scope. But Haryana per se, you talk about rail infrastructure, it is growing at the fastest pace. You talk about road infrastructure, it is the lifeline to the national capital. Every major new highway which is going towards the west of northwest of the country from the national capital is crossing Haryana. Whether it is the Katra highway, whether it is the Mumbai highway, whether Jaipur highway, and various other things, the orbit rail, the RRTS, everything is going through Haryana. Haryana has started its own rail corporation. Yes, there have been certain development factors which have been slow in development because of various other legalities and reasons, which have been addressed, and the issues have been addressed very well by not just Khattar Sahab but also Prime Minister. So, yes, there may be certain people who may feel that their development is slow, But majorly, people feel that this kind of development has not been seen in Haryana ever since the inception of Haryana. I remember
Okay.
very clearly that there was a concept of Disneyland thrown in Haryana by one political party, which never came into effect. But yes, at the same point, when we talk about the concept of well connected Haryana, the Zewa connectivity, which comes through Faridabad into Gurgaon, is well on track. The Mumbai Express Highway goes across the backward area in Haryana. It is functional. You talk about the Narela link from Narela to Katra link, Amritsar link, that is under progress. You talk about the new alignment of Jaipur, that is under development. You talk about airports which are coming up. I remember Hisar Airport was said that it would never see the face of sunlight. Well, it is not a greenfield project, it's a brownfield project, and it's well on development. So my
Okay.
point here is that we have worked, and if the opposition so feels that we have not worked and we have failed, they should be happy to contest. The
Okay.
people will not choose us. And I very categorically on your channel I'm saying, if the Congress also is so confident about it, rather than Wayanad, please bring the 20 times failed product launch into
Okay.
Haryana. And if he's fighting alone, he will still lose.
Okay, I'm gonna bring in. Okay, I'm gonna give the Congress. I'm gonna bring the Congress in just a moment. But Raman Malik, I also then want to understand from you. A lot of chatter now going about the fact that there was anti-incumbency against Manohar Khattar. Therefore, he was removed right ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. How does the BJP then respond to these sort of rumors that are floating about?
Have you seen what has happened in Rajasthan? The bickering of Rajasthan took away the government of Rajasthan. We, on the other hand, have leaders who are holding the symbol Kamal ka Nishan. Congress and other parties are a group of leaders, formation into an organization so called. वो नेताओं का गठजोड़ को पार्टी कहलाते हैं. हम पार्टी में उत्कृष्ट कार्यकर्ताओं को नेता बुलाते हैं. So this basic difference is there. You should have seen the kind of bickering that was there between Sachin Pilot and Gehlot. And here, a chief minister of 9.5 years does not take a minute away, to throw away this thing that, fine, if the organization has told me to be away, I am okay with giving my resignation. I will work as a karyakarta. And that is why when Modi ji had said, people used to laugh. But we have people who are like fakirs who say, हम हमारे को जो काम दिया है हम वो करेंगे, नहीं हमारा काम होगा संगठन मना करेगा तो हम झोला उठा के बैठ जाएंगे दूसरी तरफ काम करेंगे.
Okay.
So that we have proved.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Pankaj Pathak of the Congress also at this point in time. Pankaj Pathak, quite interestingly, even though a lot of people say that unemployment and development continue to be issues for them, when they were asked who will form the government in 2024, an overwhelming majority, almost 70% people said the NDA and only 11% people said the INDA. Why do you think that is?
Devika ji, first of all, thank you for giving me a chance to speak. Since the last 33 minutes, I had this feeling that I'm living in some alternate reality where everything is great, where all farmers are satisfied, they are singing praises of Modi ji, where everybody is a startup owner, where, everything is great and everything is rosy. But on a day when something so significant has happened, when the BJP has made a sitting CM resign, I think the first question to the BJP should have been on this issue. And I don't know when your survey took place. I am not raising any questions on your survey, but all political parties have their own surveys and they know their own situation. It is very clear, very evident today that the BJP knows that they have lost the trust of the people of Haryana, that their government is highly unpopular. And as a face-saving exercise, they've had to kick out their present CM and get somebody new just to make amends. So I think the BJP very well knows what the situation is. They have failed on every front. And I was listening to all the BJP spokesperson talking about definitions of unemployment. So basically, they are contending that anybody who's not in a government job the only people who are in the government job are to be considered employed, and everybody else, that the opposition is saying that everybody else is unemployed, which nobody has ever said. The reality has come out in your own survey. People in Haryana specifically, if we talk about Haryana, where agriculture is the main source of employment, we know how triggered, how devastated, how troubled the farmers are. We know what has happened to the youth, which sees army as the armed forces not only as a very lucrative job opportunity, but also as a source of social mobility, as a source of pride. But they have been deprived of that opportunity due to the Agniveer Yojana, which aims to turn our soldiers into contractual laborers. The young people of Haryana today are very upset about it. There are who are protesting for their jobs, which they had cleared in the Indian Army. There are more than 1 lakh people who are already protesting for those jobs which have not been given to them. I heard a lot of mention of the Jewar airport. Well, I live near the Jewar airport, and anybody who lives in this area can tell you that Jewar airport is something that's only talked and discussed on screens, but on ground there is nothing called the Jewar airport, and we don't even know when it will actually come into existence. It might be 1 decade, it might be 2 decades, 15 years, whatsoever. So everything that the BJP is talking about is a hogwash, and the real situation on the ground is that the BJP has lost the trust of the people. Even in the last election, it did not get a clear mandate in Haryana. What were they saying? They were saying 75, 75 par. The JJP was saying, is bar BJP ko Yamuna par. And they got into an opportunistic alliance with the JJP, which has further actually totally finished off the JJP as well.
So,
because
but Pankaj Patel, what stopped the
rubbing...
Congress then? What stopped the Congress from forming an alliance, coming up with the numbers?
Nothing has stopped the Congress. We are still fighting. And recently, you would know that one of the sitting member of parliament of the BJP, Mr. Brijender Singh, who's the sitting member of parliament from Hisar, who actually defeated Mr. Dushyant Chautala with a huge margin, has joined the Congress. And because that is the mood of Haryana right now, that is the mood of the nation. And in the coming days, because it's really difficult to join from a ruling party to an opposition party, and still that has happened. And in the coming days, we'll see more and more people, more and more leaders from Haryana, especially after today's crisis situation, because the BJP has accepted defeat. They are indulging in a face-saving exercise. Everyone knows. We read the newspapers every day, and every day there's on the front page, you can see a news of a shootout in Haryana, news of gang wars, 20 rounds being fired, 30 rounds being fired. You are seeing how distressed the people are. In your survey itself, people have said employment is a huge issue for them. So things are changing drastically on the ground. There is a big shift away from the BJP, and the BJP just wanted a scapegoat, जिसको हम बोलते हैं बलि का बकरा. तो आज का बलि का बकरा बने हमारे जो मुख्यमंत्री थे मनोहर लाल खट्टर जी. He was made the scapegoat. All the anti-incumbency, all the failure, all the disappointment was put on his head. He was made the scapegoat. He was thrown in front of the bus. उनको बेचारे को जितना मतलब जो भी सरकार की नाकामयाबी थी, he was made the scapegoat for that. And this is a face-saving exercise. They will remove one puppet CM, put in another puppet CM, just to make it look like something drastic has been done. But the reality is, both the BJP and the JJP have lost the trust of the people of Haryana. They could not stand with the farmers of Haryana when they were protesting. They could not stand for the daughters of Haryana, the wrestlers who have won medal, and they have hurt the pride of every Haryanavi. When those Haryanavi wrestlers were being assaulted, when they were being dragged away by Delhi police, when their FIR was not being lodged, it has hurt the pride of every single Haryanavi. People will not forget that. By taking away the employment opportunity of the army. By bringing in the Agniveer, they have thrown the future of the youth into darkness. So obviously there are huge segments of voters that are totally disillusioned by the BJP and the JJP,
And I'm sure
and
they
the
are. I'm sure they
Congress
are.
will
I'm sure they
form
are.
the government.
I want to understand, Pankaj Pathak, though, when you talk about disillusion with the BJP and the JJP, that may be true. And even when we heard people on the ground, quite interestingly, nobody really came out and said vociferously that we want the Congress back or that we want to support the Congress. In fact, the support was extended instead, quite surprisingly, to an Arvind Kejriwal. Why do you think that is?
If I carry out such a survey, I'll get you 10 people to talk in favor of the Congress. So I mean, you cannot really, I mean, count all these people who have said something. A lot of times they might be.
I have to count them, ma'am.
Not
They
raising
being...
doubts on your survey, but then there
no,
are
I'm talking
a lot
about
of
a generic conversation we've had on the ground. This is just a very general, generic
just by
conversation.
listening to 5 people,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm
about
not
what
saying
crores of people are thinking. And
of course
just
not.
by listening to people in a particular city like Gurugram, which comes in the NCR region, where obviously a lot of people, as compared to other parts of the state, would be employed because of the IT sector, because of the rental income that they are getting, due to the infrastructure development done during the Congress government, which was created during the Congress government. All this infrastructure that actually was built up in such cities was that took place during the Congress government. So they might have a different opinion, but you cannot generalize.
No, I'm
that
not
the
generalizing.
State
Firstly,
has this
Pankaj
opinion.
Pathak, no. Sorry, Pankaj Pathak, I'm not generalizing.
No, Devika ji,
One second.
I would really
let
like
me finish,
if
ma'am.
you
Let
could
me
go
finish. One
and
second.
talk
Let me
in
finish.
the hinterlands, if you could talk
For
to
sure,
the farmers,
for
if
sure.
you could talk to people who are really looking for
Yes,
employment,
for sure. All
they
I'm
would
saying
give you
is that
a more realistic picture of the situation.
Just because people, 6-7 people that we just happened to speak to while we were crossing the road here and there in Gurugram, just because they happen to not support the Congress, does not mean that we dismiss their opinion altogether and try to paint it as some sort of a one-sided, party backing exercise that we were trying to just get in voices for the BJP. That's really not what's happened. All I'm saying is that as a political party, you ought to respect the people who are probably not supporting you either. We can't just say that I can also go and get voices backing the Congress.
Full respect for them. They're entitled to their own opinion, but their opinion is not the opinion of the entire state of Haryana.
Okay,
that's
and that's your opinion, right? They're entitled to their opinion, you're entitled to yours. Raman Malik, I give you an opportunity to respond for 1 minute. Then I want to bring in Rajat Panjeta of the INLD as well.
See, मेरा तो मात्र इतना सा कहना है. I am being very candid because your people watching it can understand it well. कि अगर हमारे इतने ही बुरे हालात हैं तो आप तो ढोल बजाओ साहब, आप जीत जाओगे, आप खुशियां मनाओ, हमको हमारे ऊपर छोड़ दो. देखो उसके बाद जब आपको ये पक्का है कि हमने हार जाना, हमने कोई काम नहीं करा, तो आप क्यों चिंता में हो? वो बोलते हैं नानक चिंता चिता समान, उस चिता पे मत लेटो. वैसे भी you have a credential and you have things. Okay, let me also do a small prediction on your program, NewsX. I can assure you in this 2024 elections, Congress is going to score its lowest tally in Lok Sabha. They are not going to be the LOP. And it's going to be a regional party which is going to be an LOP.
Devika, I want to come in for a minute.
Okay. Pankaj Pathak, 1 minute to you as well, and then I want to bring in Rajat Panjeta, who's been waiting patiently to be brought in as well.
Devika ji, if everything is so well and good, and there is nothing wrong with the present government of Haryana, I think the BJP spokesperson must answer to the people of Haryana why their great, overachieving, extremely, visionary CM was removed from his position. Why was he made to resign? What went wrong there? If their government was performing so well, then he should have been rewarded.
Okay. Point taken, and I've already posed that question. I've already posed that question to Raman Malik. I've posed that question to Raman Malik. Rajat Panjeta, okay.
बीजेपी का कोई भी कार्यकर्ता आके काम संभाल सकता है. धन्यवाद.
Okay, Rajat Panjeta of the INLD also with us. Rajat Panjeta, much has happened today in Haryana. For a lot of people, quite unexpectedly. I want to understand firstly, what is the position of the INLD at this point in time?
No, INLD is a strong party in Haryana, and INLD is gaining strength day by day. And annually is one party which is winning the trust of the people. When we were in the power, we had 4 lakh government jobs, the permanent government jobs, not like Agniveer and Kaushal Rozgar, which are temporary employment and which is not under government. It is under company law. It's registered under company law. So we had 4 lakh permanent government employees, and this government, since we were talking about employment, this government has 4 lakh 66 permanent government jobs, out of which 2 lakh and 9,000 are still lying vacant. And you can still do the comparison in mathematics, since the population has also increased by almost 1 crore in Haryana. And out then, 20 years back, we were having 4 lakh permanent government employees. And this government is still having 2 lakh 9,000 vacant posts, which are like not even half of what we had 20 years back. So since everyone was talking about employment, and prior to 2014, I don't think anyone were running private businesses like running a steel shop or a cement, or someone was a taxi driver. This is not that this is created by government and there is any help from the government. No, government had left you to apply for a job in Israel. You are sending our unemployment youths to Israel, or they are still opting for Agniveer. Out of what? Because population is increasing and government has failed to create jobs. Even EPFO report was there that job creation has declined by almost 14 to 24%. And there was one report that 314%, there was a rise in unemployment since 2014 in Haryana. So yes, what the CMI data says, Haryana is topping the charts. Since like last 4-5 years, we have educated unemployed youth here. Even having a IT hub like Gurgaon and Manesar industrial hub like Manesar, which we have like crafted, but still, where are the jobs? We cannot say that someone is Atam Nirbhar and he's running a taxi, or you can't give some such frivolous excuses. Now, like coming down to what Mr. Malik was saying, Mr. Malik was saying that if we increase the MSP, the prices will increase and the inflation will increase. What about what happens when GST rates are increased? You have included milk, butter, honey. What is the GST on education? 18%. You have put a GST on stationery as well. Where you are going? This unemployment is because of you. One fellow was saying that no, agriculture is not such a great employment sector. It's not such a great job. Yes, it's all because of BJP. It was in their manifesto they will double the farmers' income. Where it's gone? They have tripled the fuel prices. They have put GST on fertilizers, pesticides, agriculture equipments. What's the labor today? What's the what we call patta? It's like lease money. Why don't you include C2 plus 50? But they're silent. Let's come down to NCRB data. 31 farmers are committing suicide every day. 50 students are committing suicide every day since 2019 and 21. It's the NCRB data.
Okay.
Why Haryana suicide rate in students is higher than the national average? Haryana is 12.8. National average is 10.6. Why every 5th day youth is dying because of drug overdose? They have no answers. They are still mum on that. Why we are not talking about the real issues? What is the farmer income? What, 27 per day? That is the NSO report says. I'm not quoting any data out of my imagination. These are all government figures. Why are we silent on that?
Okay, Rajat Panjeta, I'm going to give Raman Malik a chance to respond and then I'll come back to you.
One thing which is very clear and must be understood is that the average income in Haryana of the farmers is not what Mr. Panjeta is being referring to. The average income in a lot of places, including places like Sonipat and other places where progressive farming is being done, at times people are grossing over ₹1 lakh per month out of smaller raqbas also because of their progressive farming. That is one part of it. The second part of it is it was not us, it was the Congress and the INLD which went into the CLU businesses of cutting off various colonies and other things, especially the Congress, which reduced the agriculturable areas in Haryana. Third most important factor is that we have provided every possible help, and that is why people of Haryana, farmers of Haryana, have not participated again in the farce known as the farmer agitation. And farmer agitation, so called 2.0, was failure because people of Haryana understood that it was an opposition's ploy. Now, let's come down to the main issue. The farmers in Haryana are getting their insurance amount, they are getting water, they are getting electricity, they are not dependent on the generators. They are getting all FPO help, they are getting every possible facility, and DBT is helping them. The fertilizer incentives are helping them. The Ujjwala Yojana is helping them, and the other things which have been there, like the Ayushman Yojana and Chirayu Yojana and other things. So they have understood that this government has been standing for them. Even when they were misled, this government stood with them. So that is another part. The third most important part is which needs to be asked from the opposition and which I'm reiterating now. If, as per your statements, whether it is Congress, INLD, or Aam Aadmi Party, that if, as per your statements, we have drastically failed in giving and fulfilling any aspirations whatsoever, then why are you in such a fanatic rush of trying to convince people that no, BJP is bad for you? You must understand that if you have already understood and you have factual evidences that we are bad for people, people are not going to choose. People are not fools in India, sir. And people are going to respond to you because they are going to stand with Modi ki guarantee.
Okay, I'm going to leave
and
the
you
last
do
word.
not have your own guarantee.
I'm going to leave the last word with Rajat Panjetha. Rajat Panjetha, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, thanks for unmuting me. And I think they should not forget that in 2009 they were having 0 MPs in Haryana, and in 84 they were having only 2 MPs in the whole country. No two results are the same. Okay, just wait for the election to come, and people are desperately waiting for the day to vote you out of this country because of the 205
We will
lakh crore
accept that
debt,
also if it happens.
and debt in Haryana crossing
And
around
re-improve
4 lakh crores. Yeah. Just let me complete. And whatever I've quoted with the data, that is data of the government. That is not created by me, first of all. And secondly, you were saying a lot of things that I don't know, Mr. Bhatt was quoting that in Haryana there is Jat versus non-Jat. Sir, what is non-Jat? There are Yadavs, there are Gujars, there are so many castes. Why are you trying to create such disharmony amongst the people? There are other castes as well. This shows your mentality with the way you
My friend,
are
if allowed,
portraying
I'll give you
things.
a reply.
No, please
Yeah,
don't
Himanshu,
say that word.
I'll let you respond to that.
Yes.
Non-Jat.
Okay.
It's
See,
it's
it's
never like that.
basically
Don't try
across the
to disturb
country.
what BJP had done. You can reply when I finish. Yeah, what BJP had did since it came into power, what happened, what they did in this Jat Andolan, everyone has seen how Rohtak and Jajjar was burned down. 84 people lost their life in police bullets. And after that, there was one such incidents in Barwala. And we cannot forget that Ram Rahim incident happened. happened in Panchkula and what happened in Gurgaon, in Nuh, in Faridabad, in Palwal. So who's responsible for that? What government was there in Haryana? BJP's government. So kindly, sir, there is we believe in peace, harmony, and unity of all the castes, and you cannot just simply say a Jat and a non-Jat. I take it as an offense, and I don't like such language being used on a national television.
Okay.
So, sir, please don't use such words.
Okay. All right. I'm
I'll
going to
also
leave the last
say
word
that,
with Himanshu. But Himanshu, last word to you, then I need to go across to my colleague who's waiting on the ground.
See, basically, what I meant was, I think he should have understood the meaning what I was talking about, but still is taking offense of it. You need to understand the Haryana politics, which is viewed from last 45, 50, 60 years, is on this divide. Whether we like it or not, whether we say it or not, that's a fact. And that has been happening, even up to this Pahalwans. Let me go to that extent, I'm seeing this. From 30 years, I've been watching this, and it's only about Jats. And that's why this other poll came about. See, this is what has been happening. In every region, there is a community which takes up the mantle of being a strong community, and another one comes up.
Okay.
In Gujarat, you have Partidas talking about it. And so the politics of non-Partidas come up.
Okay.
And what I found was, at least INLD had that figures. They were debating. Whereas Congress did not have any figures. They were just talking in terms of why this happened, why that happened. That's the duty of an opposition. That's right. But then what do you plan to do about it?
Okay.
You got to tell that.
Okay.
Until you tell that, people are not going to go with you.
Okay.
That is what is my feeling.
Okay. Sumit, 20 seconds to you, please.
Well, you were talking about why is Gurgaon relevant. Gurgaon controls 66% of the revenue of the Haryana, so it makes it relevant, mathematics. Point number two, Rajat ji made a very compelling point. Why hamare time mein there were 4 lakh government jobs and today there are 4,60,000 government jobs. Population of Haryana 3.5 crores. So that means 1% of the Haryana had government jobs. Now it is 1.2% of the whole Haryana which had government jobs. By your logic, by your numbers, what you quoted, Haryana has been perpetually unemployed. That is what it is, because 1% now, it's 1.2% now. So बाकी लोग तो कुछ करते ही नहीं. Yet Haryana has doubled the GDP of Punjab by some fluke or magic. Let's discover what that magic is next time. Namaskar.
Okay. All right. Rajat Panjeta has his hand up. Rajat, last word to you, please.
Not even in top 10 as per GSDP, first of all. Secondly, I don't know why you missed that. Out of 466, 2.09 lakh posts are still lying vacant, sir. They're still they have only 1.55 permanent government employees. We had 4 lakh. That's what I was saying. You missed my point.
Okay. Very interestingly, the people of Haryana who we've spoken to have said that development and unemployment continue to be the biggest issues for them. But despite that, they say that they believe the NDA will be back in power. Of course, time will only tell what will happen specifically in Haryana as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned. On that note, I go right across to my colleague Akshat Gupta, who's filed yet another report from the ground. Listen in.
क्या क्या मुद्दे ऐसे लगते हैं जिनकी वजह से आप लोगों को लगता है कि इस बार जो है भाजपा आ सकती है?
जितने सराहनीय कार्य भाजपा में हैं किसी में भी नहीं थे और सबसे अच्छा काम करने वाली सरकार है और इसी की देन है। बुजुर्गों ने भी आशीर्वाद दिया है अभी आपके सामने ही, तो इससे बड़ा आशीर्वाद और क्या होता है।
अभी जैसा कि लोग कह रहे हैं कि उनको लगता है कि भाजपा सरकार जो है दोबारा पावर में आ सकती है, आपका क्या कहना है और क्या क्या मुद्दे आपको ऐसे लगते हैं जिनकी वजह से आप भाजपा को वोट?
भाई मुद्दा कुछ भी ना, मोदी जिसने दे देगा टिकट वो ही जीतेगा। हाँ, जिसने भी दे दो,
मोदी के नाम पे वोट,
मोदी के नाम पे वोट है और किसी के नाम पे नहीं है, मोदी के नाम पे वोट।
पिछले 10 साल में क्या बदलाव आया है?
नहीं, काफी बदलाव, अच्छे काम हो रहे, फ्लाईओवर बन रहे हैं, बड़े बड़े काम करे गुड़गांव में तो हमारे राव नरवीर ने करवाए थे, पीछे सारे जितने भी काम करवाए थे जी। हाँ, अच्छे काम हो रहे, मोदी को देंगे लोग वोट।
आपके हिसाब से ऐसी कुछ स्कीम्स बताइए जो आपको लगता हो कि भाजपा सरकार की अब तक जो है वो कारगर रही हो।
बस लोगों की भावनाएं थी कि ये हिंदू राष्ट्र बन जाए, तो उसके लिए लोग भी प्रयास कर रहे हैं, सरकार भी प्रयास कर रही है। हम हिंदू बनने वाले हैं, हिंदू बनेंगे राम मंदिर बन गया है, कृष्ण मंदिर बनेगा और हमारा वाराणसी वाला बनेगा। ये भावनाएं हैं, बस कमा खा तो हम आप लेंगे, आस्था का खेल है।
आपको ऐसा क्या लगता है कि क्या कुछ इश्यूज रहे हैं जिनकी वजह से जो है हमें असर देखने को मिला है, और कुछ स्कीम्स के बारे में भी अगर आप बात कर सकें?
एक तो सर जो 370 का जो मुद्दा था वो शोल हो गया, ऊपर से राम मंदिर की लोगों के प्रति जो आस्था थी राम मंदिर के बारे में वो पूर्ण हो गई है। आने वाला जो समय है, अगर मोदी जी आएंगे और अब की बार जो है जनसंख्या नियंत्रण जो कानून है वो बहुत ज़रूरी है, उस पर भी पब्लिक का विश्वास है कि इसका भी कोई समाधान निकलेगा जो देश के हित के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है।
किसकी सरकार बनने वाली है सबको पता है, पर बात यह कि क्यों बनने वाली है ये इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो समाज के और देश के और पूरे वर्ल्ड के लेवल पे मोदी जी ने जो शानदार काम किया हर सेक्शन में, चाहे वो नेशनल सिक्योरिटी है, चाहे नेशनल प्राइड है, चाहे डेवलपमेंट है, और सारे मुद्दों पे हमारे देश में 10 साल पहले बम फटा करते थे, टेररिज्म पीक पे था। नेशनल प्राइड बढ़ा है देश का, हर आदमी अब गर्वान्वित महसूस करता है, सुरक्षित महसूस करता है। साथ साथ इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट कितनी अच्छी चल रही है देश की, हमारी जो जीडीपी है वो अच्छा कर रही है। तो चाहे वो डेवलपमेंट का मुद्दा है, चाहे सिक्योरिटी का मुद्दा है, चाहे प्राइड का मुद्दा है, और चाहे कल्चर का मुद्दा है, इन सब पे मोदी जी 100 आउट ऑफ 100 लेके आ रहे हैं।
कोई ऐसा एरिया जो आपको लगता हो जहाँ पर सरकार को जो है इम्प्रूव करने की ज़रूरत हो?
देखिए, ये तो देश का सौभाग्य है कि ऐसे यशस्वी और तेजस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आज हमारे दायित्व पर हैं। और मोदी जी ने एक बात कहा कि मैं अगले 1000 साल की नींव रखने जा रहा हूँ। तो मुझे लगता नहीं है कि जब विकसित भारत 2047 की वो नींव रख रहे हैं, अगले 1000 साल की वो योजना बना रहे हैं, तो कोई ऐसा एरिया रहा होगा या छूटा होगा कि जो उनके सोच में या विचार में नहीं होगा। दूसरा, अब की बार 400 पार, और मुझे लगता है कि हर जगह कमल का फूल है, कोई कैंडिडेट नहीं है जहां कोई भी जिसको भी टिकट मिल गई वो कमल के फूल को टिकट मिलेगी, वही मोदी जी की टीम का सदस्य होगा।
यू हर्ड आउट पीपल हियर, एंड बी इट द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पुश, be it the resurgence of a Hindu Rashtra, they all feel that ab ki baar 400 par. That's what also echoing throughout the country when we talk out to the people. And also, it's very important to understand that it's not only about the good governance, it's also about the consensus, equity and empathy, which also decides the mandate at large. And very importantly, this election, 2024 one, is going to be one of the biggest election in one of the largest democracy, which is going to decide the fate of the nation. In Haryana, with camera person Ankush, Akshit Gupta for NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.